Well, after all this anticipation, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is finally here, and yeah, I don't care what the critics say. I had a great time with this movie. This movie was freaking delightful. I was genuinely smiling throughout 90% of this movie. Yeah, it's nothing groundbreaking, like you're not gonna get super emotional over it as you would with something like a Pixar film, but it's still a really fun time, especially if you are a fan of Mario. There are so many little Easter eggs, references, in-jokes, and just a bunch of other stuff in there. There is so much to spot. You can genuinely make a game out of trying to see them all. Sometimes they're very blatant, other times they're just little things in the background and stuff. As you can probably tell, I am a very big Mario fan. I've been playing it probably since I was a kid, so I was definitely looking forward to this movie. I know a lot of people were kind of skeptical, especially with the voice actors and stuff, but honestly, the voice actors do a pretty damn good job. Like, even Chris Pratt is honestly a decent Mario. Charlie Day is a good Luigi. Anya Taylor-Joy is a very good Peach. Seth Rogen surprisingly kind of works as Donkey Kong. Keegan-Michael Key is a decent Toad. And Jack Black freaking kills it as Bowser. He's definitely one of the big highlights of this movie because not only is he genuinely kind of intimidating, but he's friggin' hilarious. Bowser is just a total simp for Peach in this movie, which definitely really fits his character in the games. He does a lot of stuff like that. Like, his ultimate goal isn't just to take over the world, he really wants to marry her, and it's hilarious. There's literally a scene where he's like at a piano singing this ballad for her, not even to her, just for her, and it is so funny. I was laughing my ass off during that whole scene, especially when Kamek, his little wizard assistant, shows up during it. It is so funny. I wouldn't say every joke in this movie works, but when it lands, it really lands. There are some hilarious lines in this movie, with one of the big ones being, there's this, well, I guess, jumping ahead a bit, when Luigi gets captured, there's like a bunch of other prisoners nearby him, and one of them is this little Luma from Mario Galaxy, which is like this little star guy, very clearly voiced by a child, and he's just going on about this really morbid, depressing stuff, and it's so funny. Like, a bunch of other people in the cages are like, "Will you please shut up?" And he just keeps going. It freaking killed me during every scene. So, the story of this movie, unsurprisingly, is not very complex, but, you know, it's based on a Mario game. So, Bowser acquires the Superstar, this, power star, like in the game, this big star that apparently has a lot of power in it, and he uses it to, like, power his ship and grant him energy, and he decides to use it not only as like a war complex, but he also hopes that it'll impress Peach, so when he proposes to her, she'll accept. But while that's going on, Mario and Luigi, two plumbers from Brooklyn, aren't exactly doing the best at their job. They get a call, like they make this commercial, which also has a really great in-joke, because it uses the theme song from the Super Mario Bros. Super Show from the 80s, and even a little Easter egg, the woman in the commercial was the voice of Peach in that show. Again, there are so many great in-jokes in this movie. Of course, they do manage to get a job, but it doesn't exactly go very well. They get some issues, but then the city, like, starts to flood like a main pipe, so they go to investigate, they go down into the sewers, and then they find a pipe that winds up transporting them to the Mushroom Kingdom, but while they're on the pipe, they get separated. Mario winds up in the Mushroom Kingdom, while Luigi gets sent to the Dark Lands, where he ends up getting captured by Bowser and imprisoned. Now, Mario meets Toad when he arrives, and he tells him that Luigi's missing, so Toad says, "Oh, we need to go see the princess." So they go to see Peach, and she is already aware that Bowser has stolen the Superstar and is going on a big conquest and stuff. And I really like what they did with Peach in this movie, because like I said, Luigi gets captured by Bowser, so instead of Mario and Luigi going to save Peach, it's Mario and Peach going to save Luigi, which, yeah, isn't entirely like the game, but I think it works here for a couple of reasons. One, there's definitely more of a personal stake in Mario, since he's not just saving this random woman he just met, he's trying to save his brother, you know, someone he deeply cares about. The second reason is Luigi in the game, and both in the movie, is very cowardly. He gets really scared, so it makes sense him being the one that gets captured. You know, he's really nervous, he wants Mario to save him. And the third reason is it gives Peach something to actually do. I really like what they did with Peach in this movie. She's not just your typical damsel in distress. Like, she is a princess, she rules a kingdom, and she does her job. She's like, "Bowser's coming? Alright, let's go get him! We're gonna stop him! I'm not just gonna sit around, let's get him!" And I really enjoy that, but the fourth reason is it also gives Mario and Peach some time to actually interact and get to know each other. Like, they don't just meet and instantly fall in love. They go on this journey together, they learn about each other, and well, it's not really a full romance, at least in this movie. I feel like that'll be expanded more on in the sequel, because, yeah, they do tease a sequel. I would be shocked if they don't do a sequel for this. But we really do get to know each other, and they have very likable chemistry. And, of course, Toad also accompanies them because he just wants to be along for the ride. And Peach is like, oh, okay, sure. One thing I find kind of weird about this movie, though, is, yeah, well, the soundtrack is kind of half and half. A lot of it is songs from the actual Mario series, like different games. Like, you have some from the original games, you have Mario 64, the freaking DK rap from Donkey Kong 64 is in this movie, and it's beautiful. But there's also a bunch of, like, actual songs, like I Need a Hero is in it. What else? There's another one. Okay, I can't think of it at the moment. It'll come to me later. But yeah, there are a lot of genuine, like, they're not bad songs, but I will admit they do feel kind of out of place in this movie. I think it would have been better to just use more music from the actual Mario games. Again, not a huge complaint, but it was kind of strange. The other thing I wasn't a big fan of in this movie is that, honestly, a lot of the scenes felt kind of rushed. Not extremely too much, but I feel like we would have had a bit more emotional impact and stuff like that if the scenes just went on for, like, I don't know, 2 to 5 minutes longer. I feel like some of them could have get going, not by much, but there were a few that felt kind of unfinished. Well, okay, unfinished probably isn't the best word. More, cut short. So Peach decides that in order to fight Bowser, the best thing they can do is go to the Jungle Kingdom and get the Kong army from Donkey Kong Country. So they go there. Well, first we have this whole training sequence with Mario on, like, this obstacle course, which, yeah, obviously he doesn't get right away, but it is very entertaining and very funny. Like, there's a lot of great jokes in this. When they arrive there, they meet Cranky Kong, and he, at first, wants nothing to do with it, and yeah, Cranky, honestly, was the one voice actor I wasn't a huge fan of. Like, he's not bad, but there were a couple of moments where he got kind of annoying. Like I said, it wasn't awful. I mean, it's not as annoying as something like, I don't know, like an Adam Sandler movie where he has a really annoying voice. He's just kind of weird. But he decides, alright, I'll join you if Mario can defeat my son. And his song is the ape himself, Donkey Kong. And we get this whole kind of like Super Smash Brothers-esque fight scene to it, which, you know, unsurprisingly, Mario wins, mainly thanks to the power-ups. And yeah, there are a lot of Mario power-ups in this movie. I mean, they're just straight up called power-ups. And we don't get all of them, but we do get a decent amount. We see about, you know, the standard mushroom, the mini mushroom makes a very funny appearance. We get the fire flower, the cat suit from Super Mario 3D World, the Tanuki suit, and a bunch of other ones like that. It is very amusing. And then, but it's not just the main Mario series they're referenced to. We also get spin-offs, because after that, the Kongs literally decide to head off and attack Bowser via Mario Kart. And we get this whole sequence where they're, like, in the carts on Rainbow Road, and then Bowser attacks them, and it feels like a cinematic version of a Mario Kart game, and there's tons of great in-jokes, even a friggin' Blue Shell reference, which was amazing. I won't give too much away, but it is very enjoyable. But another really funny thing is Bowser is after Mario, not because he thinks he'll stop his plan for world domination, because, you know, he has the superstar. As far as he's concerned, he's already won. He's convinced he's gonna throw a wrench in his plan to marry Peach. Like, he doesn't want Mario to stop him from ruling the world. He just thinks Peach is gonna fall in love with Mario, so he needs to get rid of him. The climax of this movie is also a lot of fun. It uses some cliches, but it puts a new spin on them, which I thought was very entertaining. And we even get a nice little moment of Mario and Donkey Kong connecting with each other, which is something I never thought I would see, especially with Donkey Kong being voiced by Seth Rogen. Like, to me, that is still the weirdest casting choice, but again, he does a pretty good job, and Chris Pratt does a pretty good job as Mario. This was a very enjoyable movie. I had a great time with it. It is easily Illumination's second best movie behind the first Despicable Me. I had a great time. Definitely a recommendation, especially if you're a fan of Mario.